Welcome back, StarCraft lovers! Woohoo! RJB is here again with a replay. This time it's a game between Hilltank up against Braingod. Hilltank is playing the Red Protoss and Braingod is playing the White Terran, using the name 100 per win. I'll just be calling him Brain. It's way easier. And everybody who's watching my videos, I mean, not everyone. Most of the people who watch my videos, which is like a handful of people, know who Braingod is. And he's a phenomenal fastest map player. He is an ex-pro player. Goes by the name CKH. And he almost qualified for ASL a couple of times, but then he quit playing the regular maps and went all in on the fastest maps. And in the past, he has won a couple of other smaller tournaments for semi-pro players, and he has some on-stage performances for an ASL or a KSL. I'm not quite sure, but like some of the premier tournaments from around 2016 and 2017, he had some on-stage performances. And Hilltank, I have no idea who the guy is. I've been told he is Ryan Teacher, and I have no idea who Ryan Teacher is, so this guy is pretty much just Hilltank. Alright, so we've started out with 2 gateways, which of course will a pylon 2 gateways, a pylon at a choke, and there will be a nexus coming up once he has 400 minerals. And for 100 per win, I'm just gonna call him Brain. For Brain, we have a 2 barracks start and a depot and a gas, so he's not going for 3 barracks, he's instead just going for the very nice 2 barracks start, and there's another depot coming out. Let's get this screen up. There's a probe. He knows where Brain is. He sees the build Brain is doing. He sees there's only 2 barracks, but given that Brain's micro is very, very good, he only needs 2 barracks. There's a depot. So even if Hilltank have thrown out like a mid build or a very aggressive 4 gateway or 3 gateway build, I'm pretty sure Braingod would have been able to fight it off with his micro and his control, and he always knows exactly what to do. So yeah, nothing wrong with the 2 barracks there. And now he is already starting a choke very early, and pretty smart because now Hilltank can throw out no harass. He just has to position his zealots in his choke or somewhere around the middle. Just walk him around aimlessly. He can't do anything with them because he cannot reach. He even lined them up in a row very neatly. That's never seen that done before in that specific way. He even lines the other one up. So now all Marines can fire on the zealots, and it's going to be very hard. Yeah, there goes the SCV. So he at least manages to do some damage, but there's another SCV there. It's going to finish the depot. Oh, it looks like the Marines are now blocking. Yeah, he even moves a Marine up to the other side. That's really cute. It's really cute. Anyway, no more distractions. Let's get back to the real game. So here we have Cybernetics Core coming down, and he's storing up some gas, so he will be able to throw down a robotic facility right when it finishes. And Braingod now starting his 2nd and 3rd CC. He's not producing any more Marines. These Marines are all the Marines he needs. The depot at the front has been finished, and it's messing up the entire Marine line that he had nicely gotten himself. And now he's going to rebuild the Marine line. There it goes. This one's just going to join the fray a little bit later. And there's the cannon. There is the robotic facility, and he sees the robotics facility with his SCV. The SCV now dies with Zealots, and there we also saw the second one, I am sure. And that is just there for vision in case he wanted to do a barrack cheese or something similar. Just getting himself some map vision and map control down, seeing what's going on. There is the Citadel of Adun, 2 factories for Braingod, and about 2 more Marines coming out. There's a stim upgrade. We might be seeing medics, but the chance that we might be seeing medics is very small. Braingod is the kind of person who just goes for all in on factories, and there he goes. He lifts up, just as I was talking about it. He's the person to lift up his barracks and go for a very, very low Marine count. Unlike many other players who prefer to go for a very high marine count when they're going to fight off drops, Braingod is so confident in his ability to micro and control his units that he just lifts all of his barracks most of the time. This time he's keeping one up there because he wants to have 12 marines, I assume. But he just goes for full-on mech and tech defense against drops. And the first drop is almost finished for Hilltank. There's the shuttle, has been finished. He might try some shenanigans by throwing out 4 zealots first, but nope, he's not going to throw down 4 zealots first. Instead, he's going to wait for these 2 reavers to finish and most likely try an attack here on the front with his reavers. And Braingod will have his tanks finished by the time that these reavers are loaded up and flying towards him. And the siege upgrade is just about 5 seconds left. And he's already making 3 raids. So he will be able to intercept those shuttles once they come flying in. He's got this almost perfectly timed because there is the shuttle. The reaver has been loaded up. He's just waiting for the second reaver. The second reaver gets loaded up. Yes, it has been loaded up. Cannons being constructed around his main because he does not want to get tank dropped. There's also a Templars archive under construction. Making some bunkers along the sides. There is a Wraith. It's flying out and it scouts the center. It scouts everything that Hilltank was. Oh, that's some really sweet but pointless Wraith control he's showing off there. But that's really sweet looking. And he's trying to take down the front, but the fact that this is just a line of depots and the tank is right behind it, the reavers won't have to get inside the range of the tanks to take down the depots. So the first attempt at an attack from Hilltank has been fought off by some really nice timing and perhaps even a lucky scout on the middle. Although I assume he knew the attack Hilltank was going for and he knows the timing. And he probably knew that the reavers had just about finished around that time. So he sent his raid to the middle to scout it, see if he was doing it. And it just so turned out that he was. And so, more raids coming out. He's flying around. He's really good at just finding. He's really good at finding stuff by just being very aware of the options that Hilltank has. Because, for example, he saw that the probe was no longer going there, so it was pulled back. But he knew that Hilltank wouldn't pull it back to his base. So he knew that the probe would be around this area, around that time that it was going there, and he just picked it up immediately. Didn't give him the time. A lot of players would overlook that little detail. They would just completely forget that that probe was going that way and that they can pick it up and kill it. They would just let it go there. And now a lot of gateways being constructed for Hilltank. And there's a Corsair coming out. He now has 4 robotic facilities and he has... I'm sorry. Yep, alright, I'm all ready to go. There's a drop coming in from 2 different sides. One side he drops Zealots, and the other side he drops a Templar. The Templar gets a Storm, but the Templar does not kill anything at all. The shuttle is now about to go down. Not sure what he killed here, but some units did die. He dropped 4 Zealots there, and the raids took care of them really quickly. And the real drop, the distraction here, did not work, and Brain caught onto it and dodged with all of his SCVs. Now it's all up to what Hilltank is going to do next. He is producing 2 observers and a bunch more shuttles. He's going to load them up once they finish. He's got some upgrades going, shuttle speed going. Observer speed going. Armor upgrade for ground almost finished, and he's upgrading air weapons already. Although he's going for air weapons for his Corsairs, I assume, to take down those raids. Though I would have preferred to have seen him go for weapon upgrade, although maybe he already has the weapon upgrade. He doesn't have the weapon upgrade. There's 3 shuttles loaded up, with 1 is empty, and there's actually no Templars in there. The other drop with the Templars is flying across the other side of the map. So we have a distraction drop going on from the left, and a real drop coming in from the right. And it will all depend on if Braingod notices that both drops are flying. And he pulls his raids away to the wrong side, in fact. Wait, there were Templars in the other shuttle too. I did not. That was a surprise. So he does end up losing a couple of SCVs, mostly to splash damage from his own tanks. But he shouldn't be slowed down too much. He still has a lot of SCVs on his minerals. Though every single SCV lost, you do feel it a little bit, because now he has no gas income. He had pulled all of his SCVs off of his gas. And I was just gonna prevent this little these proxy cannons to kind of prevent them from coming up. More turrets being constructed on the side, and he's being very wary now with where he is spending his minerals, because he is slowed down and on very low income because he lost some SCVs. And there is another drop coming in. This drop is way bigger. There's a lot of shuttles, and he pulls them back because he knows that Braingod saw him, and he knows that Braingod pulled back his raids. Braingod is now hunting for these shuttles, and he knows that he scans for the shuttles and he sees them going up on the side. But Hilltank has vision, and all these raids, 10 raids, very quickly died to the Corsair. The Corsair's weapon upgrade really did come in handy there. Now he's just gonna drop all of his units right on top of the SCVs and hope that splash damage will do the trick. And there is a storm. The storm is beautifully dodged, and actually almost no SCVs at all die to the drop. Is there another Templar in there? There's no other Templar in there. And he unsieges the tank because he doesn't want to lose SCVs to splash damage. And the Zealot's now going down very quickly, and that was very well played by Braingod, as he didn't lose a single SCV to the entire drop. And I must say, Hilltank also did a really good job of controlling his shuttles on trying to land exactly on the right spot so the SCVs would get hit by splash damage, but no results. And a little bit of time bought for Braingod to help himself recover from this, because he's still pretty small in comparison to Hilltank, who now has at least over 20 Stargates. Gateways, and he is continuously loading up his drops, and he's going to be expanding his base very slowly. He's got all of his upgrades running, air upgrades, ground upgrades, and even Templar energy. And Braingod has almost got his tank, his vehicle upgrades finished. And now Hilltank, instead of going for the drop at the main where all of Braingod's units are, he just drops on top of the choke and cleans out the choke, and there comes a drop from the side, and there's a storm and another storm. And the storms miss all the SCVs. The SCVs now get pulled back, but this Templar that's probably going to survive for a little bit longer. Oh, actually there it dies. It didn't get the second storm off. But the front of Braingod's base has been completely blown open by the drop on top of the choke, and there is a drop coming, and there's a Templar comes out, a Templar storms, not a Templar storms, but a Templar storms miss, but Braingod having to pull off his SCVs off of his minerals. Oh wait, oh yeah, he sees that he lost, but these Templars both also had energy, so he would have lost a little bit later, even if he hadn't left the game right there. And it was a really good choice from Hilltank to drop right on top of the choke, instead of going for the main again. And he just breaks him open and walks into his base, and then goes for the distraction drop. Well, it wasn't a distraction, that was a real drop, but the drop does 0 damage at all. But it does force him to pull off his SCVs again and disrupt his income to the point where he can no longer produce anything at all. And even if he had anything being produced and coming out of the factories, the Dragoons would immediately take them down. He didn't have any raids either, because he lost all the raids to the Corsairs earlier. And Hilltank plays a very beautiful little war of attrition, slowly whittling down his opponent, which against Braingod is no small feat. I'm gonna do another Braingod game that is from the same series as this one, and there's in fact also a video up of the next game that I'm going to do. Actually, this game is also up on Braingod's channel, and I will link that in the description, just so you can see it from his own perspective instead of from, well, this perspective. I hope you enjoyed that game. There's a little bit of rambling going on and even a little bit of weird noises, but please forgive me, and goodbye.